Hello, this is Janice from Space to Relax, and the video I'm about to show you is a replay of a live Qigong class which I taught this morning via Zoom. I'll be teaching these classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week for the duration of COVID-19 and until I can get back into my face-to-face acupuncture and Chinese medicine clinics. This video is suitable for those of you who are beginners and also anyone who might have a little bit more advanced Qigong training. I hope you enjoy it, and if you'd like to join me for the live classes, then please click the link which is next to this video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then so you don't miss future videos that I upload here, just hit the red subscribe button. Hi everyone, today's lesson is all about how you can do Qigong from a seated position. And this has been something that people have asked me about from time to time, primarily because sometimes, if you're wanting to stand for a long time, you can get really tired. So it's nice to be able to sit down and take a rest for your legs, but still be able to practice and gain the benefits from Qigong. So ideally, seated Qigong is suited to people who, A, as I said, can't stand for too long, get tired when they're standing. B, if they have kind of joint problems, or especially kind of knees, ankles, hips, people find that, again, that restricts their movement and can actually cause pain if they stand for too long. So that's the seated Qigong would really suit them. And also for anyone who maybe has issues with their balance. So people with vertigo, with any kind of dizziness, often feel a lot more secure when they're practicing from a sitting position. So I'm going to show you a little routine that you can follow along with today, and really working with the simple movements with the mind and with your breath as well. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end. So first of all, we want to get into a good seated position. So I have gone through this with you before, and I think the very first live class replay, lesson 1, was looking at the seated position, or it was maybe lesson 2, but I'll put the link to it next to this video. But just to go over that again, if you look down at your feet when you're sitting, they want to be about hip width distance apart, the toes pointing straight ahead, so not out to the sides like this. And you want to feel as though the ball of the foot and the heel are more or less kind of even in terms of the weight distribution. You want to feel that real connection of the soles of the feet with the ground. And then you want to have your knees at hip width distance apart as well. And I'm just going to turn sideways on for you now so you can see, if you can, have a chair. This one's a tiny bit high for me, this stool, because as you see, there's a little bit of a slope down here. But ideally, what you're looking for is right angles in the knees. So this is not too bad, but I'd maybe go just a tiny bit lower with my chair. And then I'm trying to find a nice position with my feet, not too far out here like this. You want to have that bend in the knee, but you don't want it to be so much that everything feels kind of squashed in here at the back of the knees. So you're aiming for a nice right angle position. And while I'm sitting sideways like this, I also want to show you what you can do to really improve the contact of your sit bones with the chair. So your sit bones are kind of the bottom of your pelvis, and you should feel them if you kind of wiggle from side to side. You feel them. You feel more if you're on a hard chair, which is really helpful. But what you can do to increase that contact and really have that sense of grounding of the sit bones is just to lean forward slightly and just pull away the flesh of the buttocks out towards the back, and then sit back down. So do one at a time and just pulling it back. And if you sit back down, then you feel like there's more contact of the sit bones with the chair. And then also, just sideways on, I'll show you, you want to have a straight back if possible. Now I'm on a stool because I'm quite happy to support my own back and my own spine by not having a chair back for myself. But if you have a chair back, try and make sure it's an upright one. So nothing where you're leaning too far back. So from this position, I want to be straight. So if you see my spine, my back is straight, my shoulders are down. I'm not hunching forward like this. You want to have this straightness, you want to have broadness across the collarbones here. So that's what you're aiming for in your seated position. Then you want this lovely kind of distance between the earlobes and the shoulders. And then you can sit either with your hands on your lap, just facing upwards, downwards. Some people like to have hands by the side. I find that's a little bit not so comfortable for me. Just to have them resting is nice and comfy, okay? So that's your seated position to begin with. So as I said, if you need to have a chair back, if you need to have a rest at the back, you can actually then shuffle your whole weight back rather than sitting kind of towards the front of the chair as you usually would for Qigong practice. If you get tired, shuffle the whole weight back so that the back of the chair can support your spine and you're not leaning back into it. So now what we're going to do is just get really comfortable in our abdominal breathing. So find a nice comfy position for your hands and then drop your shoulders, close your eyes, close your mouth, and begin to breathe in and out through the nose. The tongue is resting against the roof of the mouth, with the tip of the tongue resting against the back of the upper teeth. Check that there's length in the back of the neck by tucking the chin back towards your throat. As you draw the chin in, feel that extension up the back of the neck and maybe even down in towards the upper back and the shoulder blades. Feeling that lovely length and openness. Now just beginning to bring the breath a little bit further down into your lower abdomen. So at this point you may want to place one hand flat over the lower belly, just so that you can feel the movement, or you might want to keep your hand on your knee or your leg, wherever it's resting right now. So as you breathe in, feeling the belly expand, blowing up like a balloon, forwards, sideways, and backwards towards the spine. And then breathing out, feel the belly shrink. And just observing the breath flowing in and out of this lower belly area, which we call Dantian in Qigong. So settling your mind and your body, getting yourself into the Qigong state and ready for your practice. Keeping the eyes closed now, keep breathing into your belly, and remember what I said there at the beginning about having this lovely contact of the sit bones with the chair. So feel into the sit bones now. And just begin to bring the breath a little bit further down now. So feel the contact of the sit bones with the chair. And as you breathe in, breathe all the way into the lower belly, into Dantian, past the lower belly and down into the sit bones. So down into that point where you're feeling the sit bones making contact with the chair. And then as you breathe out, follow the breath back up and out the nostrils. Drawing the breath down into the sit bones. So this is really bringing your awareness to the contact that you have with the chair and allowing you to feel more stable, more grounded physically. And just continue with that for a couple more breaths. And now, bring your awareness to your feet. So in the sitting position, it's almost like you have the sit bones are 2 extra feet, making contact with the chair, helping you to feel grounded. And then you have your actual feet, which are making contact with the floor or the ground. So now as you breathe in, breathe all the way down, past Dantian, past the sit bones, down through the legs and into the feet. And we practiced this before, for those of you who've been at the live classes, in the lesson which was called Qigong for grounding. So breathing into the feet, and then the mind following the breath back up the legs, through the body, and out the nostrils as you exhale. So by breathing into the sit bones and into the feet in this way, what you're doing is you're allowing the chi to move down from the head into the lower parts of the body. And very often, when our mind feels scattered or unfocused, or if we feel anxious or worried, it's because there's too much chi in our heads. It's too active, there's too much going on up there. So a really lovely way to calm that down is to just sit and breathe into your sit bones and into your feet. This encourages the chi come down from your mind, leaving a lovely, clear, calm mind as a result of that. And now bring your mind back to the breath, entering Dantian, feeling the belly expand as you breathe in, and shrink back towards your spine as you breathe out. And just gently open your eyes so that you can see what we're going to do next. So most of the little movements we're going to practice now, you've done before if you've been attending the live classes, but I'm going to show you the variation of how you can do them just from a simple sitting position. So beginning with the neck, I'm just going to do one repetition for each of the neck. So for those of you with any neck or shoulder difficulties or restrictions, be very careful with this. And with any of these movements, only go as far as your body will allow you to go without being in pain. So never go into pain with any of these movements. Just take it easy. If you feel pain, back off and just do smaller movements. Most importantly with this is the mind and the breath. So take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just let the head drop down. The chin drops down towards the chest, feeling the stretch down the back of the neck. And breathe in back to the center. And now breathe out, let the head drop back. Only a small amount if you've got any neck issues. Feel the stretch down the center of the throat. And breathe into the center. Stay nice and tall in your sitting position. Now tilt the head to one side. Just allow the ear to drop down towards the shoulder without the head drooping forwards or backwards as you breathe out. Feel the stretch down the opposite side. Breathe into the center and the other side. Nice and slowly. Breathe into the center. Now turning the head, keeping the chin parallel with the ground, and only go as far as your neck allows. Moving out as you make the turn. And then breathing in back to the center. Keeping your mind on your abdominal breathing. So breathing in and then breathing out to the other side. And breathing into the center. Now very, very slowly, we're going to circle the head and neck. So be very careful with this. Just small circles around to the back, to one side, breathing into your belly, coming forwards, and feeling the stretch as you go around. And then change the direction. You might want to close the eyes now if that's comfortable for you. And then come back to the center. Check your sitting position. Check you've got good contact of the sit bones with the chair. And your shoulders are nice and relaxed. And now just let the hands drop down by your sides. And we're going to work with the shoulders now. So closing your eyes and just bring your mind into your shoulders. Think deep inside the shoulder joint. You might want to just kind of wiggle the shoulders from side to side a little bit, just to ease out any tension you might be holding. And then just open the eyes so that you can see me. So now we're going to inhale and lift up the shoulders up towards your ears, and as you exhale, circle them forwards and down. And then back. Feel broadness in the collarbones. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, circle forwards and down. Come all the way down and round and back. Inhale, one more time. And exhale, keeping the mind in the shoulder joints. Now change the direction. So inhale. And now broadness in the collarbones. Pull the shoulder blades together as you exhale, moving the shoulders down. Inhale. So really feel the shoulder blades coming together now here as you exhale and bring the shoulders down. So only working within your own flexibility, what your shoulders will allow you to do. And breathe out. You just moving the shoulders again, checking that really not just thinking about the shoulders, but really into the where the arms join into the shoulder, that ball and socket joint, but also thinking into the back of the body. How do you feel now with the shoulder blades, having kind of brought them together and really giving yourself a little bit more ease in that area? So now we're going to open up the chest a little bit more. So bringing the backs of the hands together, keep the shoulders down, elbows are slightly bent. So inhale, bring the hands up towards the chest. And as you exhale, open everything up, spreading the arms out towards the sides, feeling into the fingertips, feeling that broadness across the chest. And then inhale, come together. Backs of the hands come together. Now, if your lower back allows this, you're going to just take a little bend, coming forwards. And just allow the whole body to relax with the chest on the knees, only if this is accessible to you. If it is, then you can allow the head to drop down. Backs of the hands are on the floor. Now pushing into the feet, inhale, hands coming up. And now spreading the chi from the chest all the way down both arms to the fingers as you exhale. Inhale, hands coming together. Now if that's not accessible to you, you may just want to go down this far. If you can go all the way now, and then allow any tension to drop out of your head and neck. For anyone that suffers with dizziness or blood pressure issues, you may not want to go all the way down. And then inhale, coming up. Exhaling. Now think of your fingernails growing longer as you exhale, really extending. And inhale one more time. And exhale like you're diving into a swimming pool. And inhale, coming up. And then just allow the hands to come back down onto your knees. So that's a lovely chest and upper back opener when you spread the hands out to the sides. But then as you come forwards, you'll probably really feel it into the lower back. So be very careful if you have any lower back issues not to go too far forwards. You only need to go as far forwards as for you to feel a little bit of a stretch. So now allow your hands just to drop down by the sides, just shake them out a little bit. So we're going to just move into the sides of the body a little bit. And now what I'd like you to do is just tilt the whole body to one side, but you're going to keep the sit bones in contact with the chair. So don't let the sit bones get light. You want to try and maintain equal pressure on the sit bones as you tilt the body. So imagine that you're stuck between two panes of glass, one along the front here and one running along the back behind you. So like you're stuck between double glazing. So when you tilt the body sideways, you want to be mindful that you're not allowing the body to come forwards at all. So you're imagining that you're stuck between that double glazing. So you're going to just tilt by just allowing the whole body to fall to the side, keep looking straight ahead, and only go as far as you can go, breathing out here, and feeling a bit of a stretch in the waist and along the side of the body, on the opposite side. Keeping that contact with the sit bones with the chair, and then breathing in, breathing out to the other side. So feeling that stretch on the lateral side of the body. Breathing in and breathing out. Only going as far as your body is happy with. Breathing in and breathing out. And thinking of the opposite side where you're feeling the stretch. Breathing in. So when you feel a stretch, what you're thinking of, breathing out, the other side, is that everything through that area is becoming more open and free flowing in terms of chi and blood flow. Breathing in, last one, and breathing out. Come back up to center, check your position, check that your sit bones are evenly, there's even weight on both the sit bones. Okay, so now we're going to just create a little bit more strength in the legs. So often we think of a Qigong sitting position as something where the legs don't do very much, but you can actually build quite a lot of leg strength just by doing a couple of simple exercises. So the first one I like to do is just with one leg, first of all, just pick it up. Just lift it a few inches off the ground and allow it to drop back down. And the other side, pick it up and down. Just breathing normally and up. So like you're marching, but from a sitting position, and down and up and down. And what you'll feel as you carry on with this, just keep going, is that you should feel a little bit of stretch or strain in the groin area and maybe in the top of the thigh. Be also very mindful of the contact of the other leg or the other foot with the ground. So if you push into the opposite foot, you'll find it gives you a lot more stability. Remember, we want that lovely grounding sensation. Pushing into the opposite foot will give you that little bit more strength. Keeping the back straight and not allowing yourself to tilt forwards. Very often what can happen as well with this exercise is people tilt back and move away, move back, so then they lose their balance. So trying to keep the upper body in exactly the same position as you were before you started doing this. Okay, now what I'm going to ask you to do, if it's accessible to you, is we're going to hold the leg up for a little bit longer. So if this is not accessible to you at this time, just continue with the marching like that. But if this is something that you can, where you have a little bit more leg strength and you want to do this, this is a lovely extra addition. So lifting the leg, and now begin to draw circles with the knee, like you're drawing circles on the clock. So you're going around a clock face in clockwise direction, and then changing the direction. Keeping the contact of the other foot solidly with the floor or the ground. And then releasing that leg, and with the other leg now, not forgetting your abdominal breath, and not forgetting to smile. Smiling is good, it releases tension. and then going in the other direction. So just bringing a little bit more circulation and mobility into the hips. And you can make these circles as small or as large as you wish. Staying sitting up straight, not allowing the body to tilt backwards or forwards. And relax. And now, just checking your position again. So because we've been lifting the legs up and down, you might find that your feet have come out of position. So just check that your feet are parallel and you've got this lovely contact of the sit bones with the chair. And then coming onto the ball of the foot, just to bring more mobility into the ankles, just circling, firstly in one direction, keeping the mind in the ankle joints. So you may want to close the eyes, breathing, using your abdominal breath, change the direction. And replace the foot, then with the other side. Change the direction. Really feeling into the ankle joint. Visualize everything inside the ankle joint becoming much more dynamic and free-flowing. And replace the foot. Okay, so now we're just going to move the chi in the 4 directions. So some of you have done this before. It's a previous post, it's a previous blog post on my website and a previous live Qigong lesson. So we're going to work with the circles exercise. So beginning with one hand on top of the other, separating the hands. I'm just going to do 3 circles. So spreading, moving the chi outwards. And now lifting, elevating the chi, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And then the hands come towards each other to form an upside down V in front of your forehead. Elbows come together and the palms are facing each other as you draw the chi down. And just 2 more in your own time. Breathing normally into your abdomen. Lifting. And gathering chi in as the hands come together. And then sinking the chi. Drawing it down into dancing. And the last one. And as you finish your 3rd one, just place one hand flat over the lower belly with the other hand on top. Drop the shoulders, close your eyes, and breathe into Dantian in the lower abdomen. Bringing the hands together, keeping the eyes closed, and rubbing them until they get really hot. If you're wearing glasses, you might want to take them off now. When your hands are nice and hot, place one palm over each eye, fingers facing up towards the ceiling or the sky. Feeling the heat from the palms going into the eyes, through the back of the eyes, nourishing the mind. And then giving your face a little rub, a little face massage just to bring yourself back into the room, slowly opening your eyes. And then just placing the hands back down on the knees. So that was a simple routine to show you the correct position for sitting, for Qigong, and also a really nice little series of movements to give your body a little bit of a stretch and to show you really what you can do from a seated position. So there is no reason for not being able to practice Qigong just because you can't stand up. I've taught Qigong to wheelchair users and to seniors who really can't stand for more than a few seconds. And we often do it obviously sitting down, so it works really well. And so I hope that if you find yourself even in a position where you might be sitting for a long period of time and you think, oh gosh, I really would like to stand up and move around, but you can't, you're in a meeting or you're somewhere on public transport, you can still do a little bit with kind of neck stretches, with shoulder circles, with lifting the legs up and down. So you can always be moving the chi. And I find this is a really helpful little exercise to do if I'm ever on a plane. I know we're not traveling so much at the moment, we're not flying anywhere, but if you're on a long flight, it's really great to be able to do some Qigong while you're sitting so that you don't completely seize up during the flight. So as always, if you have any questions, then you can email me, janice@spacetorelax.com, or you can pop your questions into the Facebook group, which is Space to Relax Qigong group. And what I'm thinking of doing with these live classes is continuing them at least until the end of this month. And then I may drop it down to one class a week after that. But for those of you who have been joining live or even looking at the replays, what I also had the idea of doing was I wanted to create a page by which you could donate if you wanted. Now, there is no obligation to do that because these classes are free. But what I was going to do was put up a donation page and give half of what I get from the donations. I was going to give half of that to our local nurses in the ICU here in Tralee, in County Kerry. So if that's something that you want to do, I'll put the link next to this video. But if it's something you don't want to do, the classes are free, you are absolutely under no obligation. It's just been my pleasure to be teaching these during the duration of COVID-19. So I hope you enjoyed that, and as always, if you have any questions, as I said, please feel free to ask, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.
If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn some more Qigong from me, then you can do 3 things. The first thing is you can sign up for my free 3-part Qigong video series, which will be delivered to your email over the course of around a week. And you'll find the link to sign up for that on my homepage, on my website, which is spacetorelax.com. The second thing you can do is sign up and join me for the Zoom live classes, which are on Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons, and they'll be for the duration of COVID-19. So I'll put the link next to this video somewhere either below or above, so you can sign up and join me there. And the third thing you can do if you're watching this video on YouTube is hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. If you did enjoy this video, then please share it with your family and friends. Hopefully they'll join in and have some fun with practicing Qigong too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.